Welcome to part two of AI behavior tests. So we're going to start back where we started in the last, or where we ended in the last video with case study 3. This is going to be transit screaming for pre-K. So the observed behavior is during the daily afternoon transition when the entire classroom aligns in a single file line to walk down the main hallway from the homeroom to the outdoor playground area. Chloe routinely drops face first onto her knees midway through the journey. Once on the floor, she begins screaming at a very high volume and aggressively reaches out to pull, tug, and pinch the clothing of the peers standing directly in front of her and behind her in the line. This behavior causes the entire line to halt, disrupts neighboring classrooms, and frequently prompts her classmates to cry or scatter to avoid her grip. So based on this, one of the first things that I would do if I was in this situation would be to get everybody from the class to where they're going and have support come one-on-one with the child. In this case, Chloe, who is experiencing some, looks like maybe an escape to get out of the outdoor playground area. We'll read more into the intervention options to see what exactly is happening that she is not wanting to go to the outdoor playground area. There could be many reasons for this, but let's see what they give us here. So intervention option A is assign Chloe to a permanent position at the very front of the transition line as a designated line leader, requiring her to firmly hold the classroom teacher's hand during the entire walk down the hallway to the playground. This could be beneficial. So just starting here with assigning a permanent position, something we do in behavior intervention is like assigning jobs. Sometimes for more of control behavior, sometimes some ODD, emotional impairment. But if this is like an ASD CI or one of the ones I mentioned before, this could be a beneficial strategy here. It's kind of making a replacement behavior slash building a pro-social behavior, because of the fact that the teacher is making a behavior of, instead of pushing and it looked like pulling clothes of other peers, instead we're going to walk at the front of the line and you can hold my hand and maybe squeeze, it looks like firmly is what they're saying. So that could be definitely a replacement behavior. So we'll go on to B. This could be effective. Let's see. B is immediately contact main administrative office via the hallway intercom system to have a principal or security staff remove Chloe from the hallway and place her in a separate isolation room. A lot of things wrong with this. For this instance, even with the first sentence, I would not go first line and be calling administrative staff, even ancillary staff to this at this point. I would definitely work more on replacement behavior or building a pro-social behavior, which go together. And then just having them remove could be traumatic in one sense, and also there's no replacement behavior, right? They're getting out of it in a different way that they may prefer, they may not prefer, but they're still getting out of it. So the function of escape is still being reinforced here. So putting her in a separate isolation room is going to decrease the building of social skills that we could do as staff, or as me as a behavior interventionist. We're not going to be able to do much in a isolation room because we're just reinforcing. So I do this, and then I get to go away from what I don't want to do. So great, like they'll enjoy that. Just reinforce that. So that's not going to work very well. So C is instruct the classroom instructional aide to physically lift Chloe up from the floor and carry her the remaining distance down the hallway so that the rest of the student line can maintain its walking momentum. So I don't know much about this classroom instructional aide here in Michigan. With CPI, there are gray areas. If it is a disruption or aggression that could compromise the safety of other students, then this could be necessary. But in this case, it doesn't seem like it. It seems like if you have a classroom instructional aide, that they should be with Chloe during this time, and the rest of the class should be going to where they need to go, which is the playground. It seems like. I don't see any need to physically lift her up off the floor or carry her. In this sense, it just wouldn't be effective. There's no replacement behavior here. There's no pro-social, and you're not using anything like a visual schedule, which could be beneficial in this situation. A first end board, PECs. I'm not sure about the students' verbal skills, so it could be an AAC, it could be verbalizing. There's many different things that I would go for before doing something like lifting, which would be in a very different situation than this. Okay, so we have intervention option D. Proactively schedule dedicated practice sessions during quiet, non-transition times where a staff member guides Chloe down the empty hallway utilizing high preference reinforcers and prays for every few feet she walks safely. Again, similar to A, I could see part of this being effective. So if we do the sentence by sentence, let's start with like proactively schedule. So proactively schedule dedicated practice session during quiet, non-transition times where the staff member guides Chloe down the empty hallway and gives reinforcers. So even though I'm not a big fan of reinforcers, I think in this case, this could be effective. Again, this would be my last resort, or not my last resort, but definitely more of a second, third line option. First line, again, is going to be more visuals. Visuals on a first end board for here's what we just did, all done. Now we are going to recess or playground, whatever they want to call it. But this one, I mean, it could work. It just wouldn't be the first thing I'd go to, but I have a feeling this is going to be what they say, because in a way, reward systems and reinforcers are definitely evidence-based, but at the same time, if you look at the evidence for long-term use, it's very unimpressive. I'm assuming they're going to go with D, but I'm going to choose A because I like it more. I think that that's something I would do more than going straight to a reinforcer, but I really wouldn't do any of these first line. So incorrect. Option D is the best choice here. She is missing the skill of walking safely in a line, but not really, because you are walking with her. You're teaching how we walk in line. So it really isn't. So they're a bit wrong there. If you do that, they're definitely learning how to walk in a line because they're walking with you in the same line that everybody else is walking in. And as they build up, you can taper from holding their hand and they just walk next to you. You can have them go behind the first person. Like, you can taper this off. Option D is the strongest clinical intervention because it's focused on proactive skill acquisition. Practicing in an empty hallway during quiet times removes the overwhelming distractive peers. Yes, that is true. But there are ways I would do that without using token boards or a reward system. There's definitely better ways that could go. So we're going to do one more in this video. We're going to do case study 4. Material destructiveness for a third grader. So the observed behavior is during independent reading blocks, when students are required to select a book from the library and read silently at their seats for 20 minutes, Noah frequently begins tearing the pages out of his selected book, snapping his pencils in half and scribbling aggressively over the book illustrations with markers. If a teacher approaches his desk to intervene or replace the damaged items, Noah laughs loudly, throws the broken pieces at the wall, and begins knocking over neighboring students' pencil boxes. So again, we could go with escape, but based on when the teacher approaches, there's laughing and potentially eye contact. I'm going to kind of go with adult attention for right now and kind of see where that goes. So we have intervention option A, which is replace all paper books with a durable, locked digital tablet that only displays one page of text at a time, and provide Noah with flexible, break resistant writing utensils during all silent periods. So that is definitely. Well, let's go sentence by sentence. Replace all paper books with a durable, locked digital tablet, only displays one page at a time. The problem with this is that this could be another thing that is dependent on over time, and it's not really replacing the behavior. It's more of a quick stop to the behavior. Because once that tablet goes away and it's back to books at a certain level, behavior is going to start back. In best case, same as it was. Worst case, worse. Um, so I wouldn't do that. What I would do actually is make copies of the book and have it read on paper, but fold it so one sentence is shown at a time, possibly even one word. And that might be a more beneficial intervention than this is, but this is decent. There's definitely some tweaks that could be made to it, but overall, compared to some of the ones I've seen, that's good. Okay, B. Institute an immediate 15-minute loss of privilege consequence where Noah is banned from using any classroom art materials or entering the school library for the remainder of the instructional week. So, starting with institute an immediate 15-minute loss of privilege consequence. Again, it's just not going to work. This can't be held over time. It may be like a quick fix for it, but behavior's going to come back stronger. Trust's going to go away. Relationship's going to go away, and you're back to square one. So potentially square zero. So I wouldn't recommend that. I've seen it happen, and it never works out the way people think it will. Noah is banned from using any classroom art materials. So you're taking away learning, which is what school's for. That's a mistake. And from entering the school library. So if he's in English, taking an English class or whatever, or needs classroom art materials, he's not going to be able to get them unless the class provides it for him separately. I don't know. But either way, there's nothing about that that is, one, developmentally appropriate, and two, behavior interventionally appropriate. It's just not something that's going to hold up long term, and it's not a long term behavior solution. So C is require Noah to spend his entire recess period utilizing tape and glue to meticulously repair every single torn page and damaged item he broke during the reading block. I have a few thoughts about this. So, taking away recess is like any version of your timeouts or loss of privilege. It's not going to work. This, what grade level? Third grade, yeah. I mean, more than a kindergartner, but the concept of time is so limited in the elementary age that 1 minute versus 10 minutes is like, it's just not felt the way that we do. So, and then having him repair the book is not teaching a replacement behavior to prevent it from happening again. None of this here is going to prevent it from happening again. I promise you that. None of this at all is going to prevent this behavior from happening tomorrow. Fixing the book doesn't mean that another book tomorrow is going to get fixed. And what are you going to do? Skip recess every day that the book gets torn, and you're going to have them fix it up? Like, that's unsustainable. It's not a long-term solution. It's basically reprimand. It's not proper behavior intervention. Okay, last one is D. Assign a peer buddy to sit directly next to Noah during the reading block to model appropriate book handling skills and give Noah high fives when he turns pages gently. So I like this. I think that peer buddies are can be very, very beneficial in behavior, especially in general education rooms, where we have like resource students that are in resource classrooms that come into gen ed for most of the time. So I can see this being very, very beneficial. So one, you're reinforcing the actual task that you want to reinforce instead of whatever last times was, where it was all the way in the afternoon and they wanted to give tokens for it. Yeah, this is great. Modeling, again, that's going to build replacement behaviors and pro-social behaviors with books. Yeah, model appropriate book handling skills, give no high fives. Yeah, that's great. So we'll go with D. They're saying option C is correct. I thought it was gonna be A or D. That's not. No, that's. Hold on, let me see what they say. Utilize a behavioral principle called restitutional overcorrection. Because Noah is destroying classroom property, requiring him to spend time repairing the items, directly restores the environment to a state better than it was before. That's not. Oh my god. That's not. It's not going to help the behavior over time. That's. Wow. Sometimes AI just does not know what is like. This acts as a natural non-punitive. How is it non-punitive? Teaches accountability. Teaching accountability is not going to decrease the behavior. It's going to come back. Saying sorry is not going to decrease the behavior. It's going to come back. Without escalating the situation during the actual reading block. But you don't have to do it during the reading block. There's changes you can make during that time that will make it so this doesn't have to happen. There's no reason this needs to happen. For what I read, there is no reason for this. Yeah. I see what they're saying about unsafe behavior with a peer, but if you have an adult supervised peer buddy, that's different. Yeah, I'm very disappointed in this. That's not correct. I promise you all, that is not correct. It is absolutely option D or A in the way that I said that things could be changed on it. Definitely not C or B. I don't know what they're thinking, but that is not. Wow. All right, that's gonna be the end of the video. We're gonna do probably 2 more in the next video. If you could like or subscribe, I would appreciate it, and we will do more of these soon. Thank you.